Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, back with a special video here today, and it's our first ever GOAT tier video where a member of our channel memberships, they select the video topic that we're making today. We put it out to anything, Ryker, so we said we talk about whatever the video they created. This one was about the Toronto Raptors, probably thankfully for our channel and maybe for some viewers, because we know we can get weird on some of these videos, but it's coming from Snickeyfenix. Shout out to Snickeyfenix. And if you guys want to join the GOAT tier, any of our channel memberships, you guys definitely should. The button should be below. Lots of cool perks, they'll be listed in there. But Snickeyfenix, I'm screenshotting what he sent over, is should the Raptors look into trading Fred VanVleet for a star? Him and Boucher maybe get some change and could definitely open up some opportunities, and who will be some prospects that could lead this team to greatness. So that's a lot of stuff that we're going to dive into in this video. And while we were sort of talking about this, Ryker, before we sort of hopped on, we got into a discussion about how, who's the if this is a potential package that happens, or, we have to figure out who the future point guard for this team is. So before we dive into possible trade scenarios and all that sort of stuff, right, and dive into all those questions added in there, right, we have to discuss who's the future point guard for the Toronto Raptors, and should we even think about a Fred VanVleet move?
Yeah, well, I'm one of the biggest haters of Fred VanVleet at the current moment. I haven't been coming or rushing to his defense more often than not. Then you take a moment to look back on his stat lines. Well, he's averaging best assists per game of his career, best rebounds per game of his career. His points aren't far off. Eye test, it's not there. There's a gap still. And his scoring on the inside really frustrates me, especially when he can get in the lane quite easily. He can get in there quite easily. But unlike Kyle Lowry, he can't use his body to create angles to get his shot up without getting blocked or seriously challenged at the rim to a point where he can't just get a good layup or a good shot at the rim. That said, he handles the ball like a veteran. He can shoot the three, although streaky, and he has been closing games for us, especially that New York Knicks. So it's unfair to write him off, although some fans are discontent. Some fans are saying, relax it. We're kind of right in the middle there. Wait till Siakam comes back, then make our judgments. But for argument's sake, where do you think, Ben?
Yeah, well, because the thing about it is, I love Fred VanVleet. You've sort of been disappointed with him, even with his lackluster stats up to his usual standards, right? Only 17 points per game, six rebounds, 7 assists, but that's been inflated, as you mentioned earlier, by that big 17 assist game that he had, right? And the jarring number on that, especially for Fred, is the 33% from three. Obviously, he's never been the greatest finisher around the rim. That's not really what he's known for. Yes, sometimes he'll make a nice reverse layup, a scoop layup, but usually does get blocked, or just can't finish consistently around the big trees down there in the lane. But however, Fred VanVleet, right, he's been the understudy of Kyle Lowry. He's who did OG attribute his great game to at the end of this? Fred VanVleet's leadership, getting him the ball and all those sorts of things. Fred he was the guy that came out in opening night, was given the microphone, chanted to the fans. He has the finals MVP vote, and I know these are all sort of stuff outside the basketball court, but they do matter. They do matter. So in the short term, I think Fred VanVleet's value is tremendously high for the Raptors. But Ryker, and this sort of gets into some of Snickeyfenix's his second question here, is who are some of the prospects that can lead the Raptors to greatness? Well, a couple of those guys are on the roster. And the first guy is, the 6-time Scotty Barnes Award winner. Scotty Barnes didn't win in the last game for the first time award, but, he's obviously a guy that played point guard in college, can handle the ball, has shown an ability to throw no-look passes, defense and stuff. And, Malachi Flynn's a guy, but Delano Banton is someone everyone's excited about that's watching them play. And I think short term, we both agree Fred VanVleet is a better guy to just sort of lead. Well, you might have a different take than for Scotty Barnes specifically, but I think everyone would agree Fred's better than Delano Banton running the show and all those sorts of things right now. But, long term, leading them to greatness, as Snickeyfenix has brought up, who would you like to see sort of long term there? Would you want to see Fred at the reins, or, give it to Scotty Barnes, Delano Banton?
Well, let me tell you this, Ben. We didn't max out Fred VanVleet, so we're not stuck to him in the same way that we're stuck to Pascal Siakam. But we've seen through history championship teams that are on the backs of superstar players, LeBron James-esque teams. Then we saw the small ball Warriors. I'm going to call them small ball. Some people might argue with me. Then we finally see big ball come back with the Bucks winning the championship. Now it's being emulated by the Cavaliers. The 76ers are always all pretty big. The Raptors seem to be dipping their hand into that cookie jar as well, going big. 6'8", 6'9" guys on the entire team. Wouldn't surprise me, Ben, if we give the reins to a guy like Banton or Scotty Barnes, because you just have more versatility. You have guys that can defend at any position, can finish above defenders in the lane, and can still shoot the three pretty competently. And that was the key point, that if Fred VanVleet doesn't bring his numbers up from distance, what is the difference between him and Scotty Barnes besides his ball handling? And is that really enough to confirm your spot over the next couple of seasons as the starting point guard? Ball handling, right? Ball handling. If he's not scoring on the inside, he's shooting only a mediocre 3-point percentage. Scotty Barnes, we're getting Magic Johnson comparisons from the commentators because he can pass so well. What can Fred VanVleet do better if not 3-point shooting? So he does need to pick that up, but I'm looking at Scotty Barnes being the future and Delano Banton trailing right behind.
Yeah, no, that's, and, the long boys lineup. And so people are talking about, you could run a lineup of Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and then, your Precious or whoever. And then Delano Banton can slot in right there for whoever you want. Svi is looking like a guy that could be a long-term piece for this Toronto Raptors right now. Riker, you got me drinking. I'm sipping on that Svi water. I'm drinking the juice. I'm drinking that Svi water right now. So it's you got the pinkies up. The animation's playing up there. Yeah, there it is right there. The pinky's out of the frame there. There
Shoot.
You're good. But yeah, that's a direction. But obviously Fred VanVleet's value, I think it's gone understated by Raptors fans. He's still, is a reliable shooter, even if the percentages are low to start off this year. He's been clutch for this team. He makes, he's getting better with his decision making, but I'm high on Fred VanVleet. I still think he's solid, but I do see why people would like to see the long boy lineup. But, we've kind of been avoiding, especially where we talked a little bit about trades in our previous video with Dragic, the specific trade talk with Fred VanVleet. But could Fred VanVleet and potentially a package of, pairing alongside him, Chris Boucher, who's an upcoming free agent this year, could that net you a star player to bring into this roster, Riker? And should I play the young socialite animation? Because this was a package we've talked about consistently with Ben Simmons, Fred VanVleet. That's a...
Well, I was gonna brainstorm a star besides Ben Simmons, but obviously the only true chatter around Fred VanVleet in the offseason, which was Fred VanVleet and a ton of other assets, was for Ben Simmons in return. But I wouldn't make that trade right now. Beginning of the season, I was the biggest advocate for it, but now seeing Scotty Barnes, seeing Banton, to bring in a guy like Simmons, it just reaffirms what everybody was saying in refute to me suggesting it would be a good trade. It's not a good trade. Wouldn't do that now. I'd like a guy like Beal, or like Snickeyfenix said, a real all-star caliber playoff guy. But who needs Fred VanVleet on their team? And the playoff guy that we'd be trading for is probably a guard. No. Washington Wizards. Why would you trade away Beal for another power forward when you have a ton, and Fred VanVleet to downsize? That wouldn't make any sense. And you could probably run the same case scenario with any other trade. I just don't have any on the top of my head.
Yeah, Bradley Beal. Yeah, I don't know if Miles Turner wouldn't be a star, but maybe Sabonis would be a guy that if the Pacers would be interested in getting a point guard.
Too many guards.
Well, you could, because is Brogdon truly a point guard though?
Guard. Karis LeVert, Brogdon. Do they still have Duarte, McConnell? Do they still have one Holiday brother?
Yep, but they're more wings or whatever. I could see Fred slotting in there, a point guard. And they've been bad, so maybe they want to just blow it up, see what happens, and they know they could get some value back for Sabonis. Obviously, the Raptors were interested in him for a while, right? To see what occurs with that. Trying to brainstorm these trades. Would a Stinky Pinky would that get you going? Fred VanVleet for Stinky Pinky. I think the Mavericks would just void his contract at this point in his Mavericks
I
career.
think that our fan base would explode with negativity. It wouldn't be a good scene. There'd be a volcanic eruption of negative energy spew across the nation. Literally like a cloud of ash. Like, why do we trade Fred VanVleet for Kristaps Porzingis? But it'll never happen.
Stinky Pinky, that's yeah, it's tough sort of coming up with these trade scenarios, especially Fred VanVleet. He's a guy. He seems like a Raptors lifer. He has that vibe, that aura, and even if he's not a long boy, he can play defense well enough to where he feels like a long boy, and he can shoot the threes and all that sort of stuff. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. Do you think the Toronto Raptors could potentially trade Fred VanVleet? Who is the future point guard for the Toronto Raptors? Because Scotty Barnes looking like he could be that guy, even though he has played the wing for us right now. Right, we're talking longer term, and Delano Banton could also develop into that role. Because if he continues on his progression of growth, no way we're gonna be able to hide him on the bench in the future. So let us know in the comment section below. You guys have best to make it this far. As mentioned, right? Join the channel membership. You can get in the GO tier, and you can pick whatever video for us to make monthly. You just select a video, right? You select a topic, and then we'll talk on it for you guys. So we'll put that content out, right? And there's obviously lower tiers for different stuff, right? We gave the occasional shout out. Got to update the graphic there, but check out the merch. The merch should be up, right? The new Raptors Digest hoodie logo. And we got some fun stuff coming with that, right? What's up?
Delivered. Our first giveaway. The jersey has arrived at what was his name?
Jake LaMette Johnson. Throw
Jake LaMette Johnson
emojis in the chat.
Jake LaMette Johnson.
Yep.
He's gonna
continue.
Yep. I was just gonna say he's gonna have a nice surprise here tonight when he gets that package.
For sure. We'll definitely do a little. He'll send us a little unboxing or whatever. Hopefully, we'll post it on the channel. And speaking of which, we do also have our next giveaway. Right, we're just gonna give it to a subscriber again. It's just easier to do for you guys. So stay subscribed to the channel. We're on the road to 22K subs. But if you want this fire hoodie, that's our next giveaway. They keep getting better. But Ryker, we got to plug the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Do you have any last words on Snickeyfenix's takes and questions?
Shout out Snickeyfenix. Good thought-provoking question. Cheers.